It's indeed an honor to chair and give my remarks on today's theme of the DDEP, lessons and implications for how you, or should I say, how we invest. Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, government has recently concluded restructuring of a large part of its domestic debt, or as Boahene said, the haircut has happened. And we are all busy dusting off our shaven hair and getting ready to admire ourselves in the mirror again. The financial and investment space has suffered some major knocks with regards to trust and confidence that it used to enjoy. We cannot gloss over its impact on investor confidence and what it means for investment and savings in future. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot allow this crisis to go to waste. We need to see this as an opportunity to revise our economic models for a prosperous future. The DDEP, despite everything, has presented us with a silver lining, and that is the opportunity to reset our interest rates and investment returns regime to affordable and sustainable levels for all, governments, businesses, individuals, and investors. We must reset our interest rate regime and investment returns as well. Single-digit interest rates on government bonds or government securities, as prevails now, means that government debt service levels will fall, freeing up revenue that can be used for investment in critical social and economic infrastructure. It also means that the private sector has a chance of accessing affordable capital. And I see many captains here, and every time the cost of capital comes at the top of the challenges facing the sector. 2 weeks ago, I received a term sheet for a small overdraft facility we requested from one of our banks, not Stanbic Bank. But the interest rate quoted was 42.91%. 42.91%. I chuckled. The silver lining is here. We must grab the opportunity DDEP gives us for businesses to finance operations at much lower and sustainable levels. The single-digit interest rate regime on Treasury instruments also means that investors, you, I, our pensioners, our individual bondholders, the private sector, the pension funds, banks, asset managers, all of us, we must look for additional returns by investing in the private sector. We cannot fund our lifestyles by getting guaranteed risk-free returns from governments. Like every other country, it's investments in the private sector that gives that additional return we are all looking for. And by investing in the private sector, which is our real engine of growth and transformation of our economy, we will be meeting the objectives that we have set for ourselves. I say DDEP is a silver lining we must grab with both hands and fly with it. Distinguished guests, a few other lessons from DDEP for me. Transparency and accountability. It is critical that if we are going to rebuild trust and confidence in our economy, government, private institutions, to the large extent the individual, the taxpayer, we must conduct ourselves in a transparent and accountable manner to build trust with other stakeholders. Fiscal discipline. This is necessary for sustainable economic growth. Government must prioritize economic and social investments and must avoid using expensive debts to pay emoluments and service more debts. And the emoluments goes to 700,000 public servants. And today we spend more than 40% of revenues paying emoluments and the rest paying public debt. We need to spend where it matters most. Public-private partnerships, another area we must look at. This helps leverage resources and expertise of both public and private sectors for the benefit of the economy. Sustainable interest rate regime, I cannot stop calling this our silver lining that we must hold sacred and sustain. Ladies and gentlemen, a vibrant capital market is what we need for economic transformation. And I dare say the Ghana Stock Exchange provides such a platform to achieve this. Our three markets, the main market for equities, the alternative or growth market for SMEs, and the Ghana fixed income market for debt securities, facilitate the raising of capital by government and businesses, and remains a viable platform for investors to seek reasonable returns. The exchange introduced our green, social, and sustainability-themed segment of the bond market last year to enable companies to list such products and for investors to trade in them. Our over-the-counter rules have been approved for investors to trade in unlisted public securities. And soon, we will launch our commercial paper market. Ghana, like every country that has transformed or seeks to transform itself, needs a vibrant capital market and stock exchange. And I want to encourage all unlisted companies to consider the use of any of our markets, or all of them, sooner rather than later, to achieve the economic and personal transformation we all yearn for. Finally, what are some of the things we need to think of as investors? Diversification. Kwabna raised this. All of us need to go back to the basics of investment by diversifying our portfolios to minimize risk and exposure. When the returns being offered is too good to be true, even when it's supposedly risk-free, think about it again. Businesses, consider financing with some equity too. The benefits far outweigh the fear of openness and accountability. Major countries and companies have developed because they brought in other equity partners. Seek professional advice. Many of us don't do that. As much as we'll send our cars to a mechanic or see the doctor or go to Dr. Google when we are not well, many of us do not reach out to the investment professionals. And we need to rethink our attitude towards the investment of our hard-earned income. Financial literacy, and it's a matter very, very close to the stock exchange's heart. It is worrying how low financial literacy is among both the educated and less educated, resulting in people falling for all kinds of Ponzi schemes. We need the support of regulators, market players, CSO, media, graphic business, and all stakeholders to embed financial literacy across this country, particularly starting with our schools. Last year, the Stock Exchange visited 37 tertiary and senior high schools with our financial literacy programs, including investment education tours, capital market quiz, stock pitch competition, together with our partners, the Young Investor Network, reaching over 5,000 students last year alone. We need to accelerate these initiatives. Digitalization. Adopting and accelerating digital technologies will speed up access to financial products and support financial inclusion. Market players need to collaborate more with fintechs to continue to develop digital portals that will make trading and investment and financial literacy easier and more convenient. GSE and our partners have launched tools like the GSE Market Watch portal, Trade Live, CD Manager, Second Stacks, to name a few, to improve such market access. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, rebuilding confidence and trust in the investment landscape requires a concerted effort from all of us. We must prioritize transparency, accountability, fiscal discipline, diversification, digitalization, and investment literacy. Considering investments, we must diversify our portfolios. At the stock exchange and working with the SEC, we are looking to bring more products to the market. We must stay updated about market information. By doing so, we create a sustainable and prosperous future for our country and for all of us. It is worth noting that markets change, issuers change, returns change, even governments may change, but the investing principles largely remain the same. Thank you for your attention, and let's get to work.
For more news, please visit our website graphic.com.gh or follow us on Facebook at Daily Graphic and on YouTube and Twitter at GraphicGH.
Subscribe now.